grinding?
We're grinding.
All right, well, let's do it. No time like the present.
Yeah.
We're on.
All right, boys.
Everybody have a good spring break?
Great spring break, man. Never lasts long enough, but had good weather. Got a little sunburn, as you should on spring break.
Drove about 20 hours.
Yeah,
It was
20 hours.
you covered across the southeast, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Y'all went somewhere else besides the camping trip, right?
headed down to Hot Springs, Arkansas. Anybody ever been there?
No.
Can't say that I have.
I recommend it. Arkansas was a unique state. That's a nice way to say it. But we had a good time in Hot Springs, and I had never heard of it, but there's an actual diamond mine that you pay a few dollars, but it's open to the public. And this last weekend, there were about, I think, over 50 diamonds pulled out after a big rain.
Wow.
No
You get
kidding.
to keep those.
Wow.
The Smiths didn't put in
Oh.
quite enough elbow grease in order to
You were more
to
of
come
a-
back with the diamond.
It was more of a
That's shame.
tourist attempt than a
Yeah, we were
actual
thinking it's
diamond
more
miner.
like hunting for Easter eggs.
Right.
Like they were going to be laying around in the dirt, and apparently it's not like that. You
You
got to
got
work
a little work.
pretty hard.
That's pretty cool.
Well, maybe
I
if you
mean-
worked a little harder.
Wasn't there like a giant diamond found like a couple years ago down there or something? A pretty big one, right?
Yeah, like 3+ carats, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
There was a 20 carat one pulled out, 15, 20 years ago. So
How does one determine this is a diamond field? How does that work?
Find a diamond, I guess. I don't know.
a lot of
Find
silence
one
in the room.
first.
Yeah.
It's probably a stupid question. I don't know, but
That's the only one open to the public, right?
Yeah, in the
Yeah,
United States.
yeah.
Yep. So something fun to do with the kids.
Yeah.
But I would definitely
It's a long
recommend
drive,
it.
apparently.
It sounds great, but you definitely have to work, do a little bit of research. So if your kids are younger than 10 at minimum, I would say it's not worth
Stay
the
away.
drive.
Yeah.
Stay away from to get a little bit.
How
older.
how far was the drive?
It was about 6 hours.
So 6 hours from Nashville.
And might I say, there's, if y'all notice the potholes in Nashville,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Oh,
lot.
yeah. Turn that up in Arkansas.
Arkansas has 100 times
That's
the amount of potholes.
You can
that-
drive
as
in
Nashville.
and out of potholes. You don't hit them, you drive in and
It's
out
unbelievable.
of them in Arkansas, yeah.
I mean, the road that our little cabin was on, I'm not going to exaggerate here. I mean, the road was, maybe 20 foot wide. So take a 20 foot by 20 foot square. Most sections of that had at least 50 or 60 potholes that were patched or current. It
Right.
was unbelievable.
So it's just
just constantly
Yeah.
bumping up and down. So
This would have been a great, if only Lance had gone on this trip, this would have been a good bash.
I was waiting.
Yeah.
well, it's funny.
You're off to a good start with the potholes, so let's keep it going.
I know. On the way home, Catherine was, in the passenger seat, as she should be. I was driving, and
We've discussed this.
I said, "Hey, can you text me something?" And so I started rattling off all the things I didn't like about Arkansas.
Oh, nice.
And I said, "This is like a Lance trip route."
Yeah.
review."
Yeah.
Encroaching on
So
Lance's
how
territory.
far outside of, because my grandfather used to live in Little Rock, and so we used to travel there sometimes, and I just remember it seemed like after you get like past Memphis, Arkansas is but it's just so flat, right? It's very
Yeah.
flat. It's
Very
just
flat.
not a lot to see.
If you like pine trees and potholes, it's your spot.
It's your vibe.
trees and potholes.
Trees and potholes.
I believe that's their state logo.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Did you
say-
see any Razorbacks?
Well, I would say this is a positive. I noticed the number of like maroon or razorback red
Mm-hmm.
cars was very high there. The percentage of cars that were that color much higher than in Nashville.
They-
I have to think that has to do with Razorback fans.
Yeah, they have a good color if you want that as a vehicle.
Yeah.
Like here in the volunteer state, it's a tough scene to ride around in an orange car.
Mhm.
Yeah. Although I thought about it. I mean,
Unless it's a Lamborghini,
Yeah.
then you can get away with
I'm
it.
not ruling it out, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, the other thing that I would say scared me was we're in this little cabin. I mean, it's like a little 600-foot cabin on 8 acres in the middle of nowhere. I mean, you're going down a gravel driveway.
How'd you
you're
find
in-
this place? It's
You're
like
in
Airbnb?
Sass. You're
It's
in
an
Sass-
Airbnb.
No
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah, you're like there could be a Yeti
Yeah,
out here.
this
There
is
could be a
Sasquatch
mass
territory.
killer.
Right.
That's where you're a little nervous to go outside at night. So I'm sitting there on the couch one afternoon watching March
You
Madness.
were waiting for Michael Myers to walk up the
Yeah, and
driveway.
it's not dark yet. But I look out, I'm like, God, man, I can barely see the trees. And I mean, it is smoky. And I'm like, oh, somebody must start a fire. So I get up and I look, and I mean, there is smoke everywhere as far as the eye can see. So
And it's smoke because you can smell it. It's not
oh,
like
yeah.
a
So I
fog roller.
step
Yeah.
outside, you can smell it. And I realize this is whatever's going on is much bigger than somebody's burning some
yeah,
brush.
This in
over
the campfire. That's somebody.
And so I'm thinking immediately as a dad, like, oh my gosh, do we need to pack up? Is there a forest fire? I'm listening for popping. I'm looking for flames.
Yeah, because it's not been that long ago that like the Smoky Mountains literally caught fire and people were scrambling for their lives.
That's what I thought was going on. And so I'm telling Catherine, I'm like, hey, we might need to start gathering some stuff up. But I was like, why don't you get on social media and see if there's anything been reported.
Is Arkansas on fire?
Right.
Sure enough, yes, it was. It was. They were burning a controlled
burn,
6,000 acre burn.
Jeez.
Can
A
you
county
control?
over.
Is that
I don't know.
Is that a conundrum? Can you control 6,000 acres burning?
California would disagree.
Yeah,
So
but you.
we just kind of lived with the smoke for a few hours, and then
Just
it
like
just went away.
So how
Just
far
like a
away?
typical
How far
Arkansas.
away was it? Do you know how far away it was?
Oh, it was about maybe 6 hours.
No, I mean the controlled fire from where you were.
One county over. I don't know
Yeah,
mileage.
right.
I mean, what's the point of a controlled burn?
Well, somebody from Arkansas listening is probably going to think I sound like an idiot. This is what I perceive.
no, nobody in Arkansas has this
I
technology.
mentioned they have a lot of pine trees, so in this particular section, we would drive. It was about an hour to the diamond mine, and so we made that trip there and back. And what I noticed was that most of the, I guess, farmland around there was pine trees, and so it was almost like big chunks. You would come up on one, it would have tall pine trees. You come to the next one, be medium sized. You come to the next one, it'd be saplings, and then you come to an open field where they had all been taken down. I guess for whatever they're using the pine for, and burned. And then I guess I'm assuming once they burn it, then they reseed and the whole process.
Isn't it supposed to kind of be good for the ground too? Isn't there some like theory that like all that you burn all the underbrush and all that, and it kind of restarts the generation process? I think there's something to that.
There's some logic to that.
Well, we'll go with that. Yeah.
It seems dangerous.
We'll reach out to our friends in the forestry industry and find out.
But let's move on.
Yeah, let's
Arkansas,
definitely move on.
but-
We've lost listeners. That's what you speak.
Well, let me tell one more story. This will bring them back. Had a little. I don't know if it's a dad fail. Y'all can tell me. But we're in this cabin. It's kind of scary. My kids are really into Bigfoot, and they believe in Bigfoot like they do Santa Claus.
I just saw a new
He is
Bigfoot
real.
video the other day. It was like a stabilized video. It was pretty cool.
Well, we were on the search for Bigfoot videos, and so we came across one. Never heard of it. It was kind of shoddy production, you could tell, but immediately it starts out, and it's telling the story of this man who was so crazed about Bigfoot that it overtook his life. And so I can tell it's going to start interviewing his family, friends, etc. So pretty quickly they set the scene, and it goes to this old man that's a friend of this guy that went crazy. And it cuts to him camping next to I guess I would say a pond or a little lake. And it's about a 50, 100-yard away shot, and all of a sudden you see this man is buck naked, and you can see his rear, and you're thinking, oh, I don't know why you're showing that,
Right.
but whatever.
Oh, okay. He's taking a bath in the lake.
He's taking a bath in the lake, and we'll move on. Well, it cuts up to a close-up shot, and it's inching down pretty close to the belt line.
And at this
but
point, your boys are watching. You're all sitting there as a
we're
family watching
Catherine's
Bigfoot.
watching, and I'm just like, oh, it's a little close, but
Yeah.
surely it's going to stay.
They're showing some nipple. But
North of the border.
Yeah.
North of the border.
And
We're going to maybe
then-
see a belly button, but not anything else.
Then all of a sudden, the camera shifts. This
There.
old man turns around,
And there it was.
and I hear I'm not going to say which kid it was, but I hear, oh my gosh, why does he have all that gray hair on his
Oh
balls?
my gosh.
Catherine's screaming, her eyes like she's been blinded, and the boys and I, of course, are cracking up. It's one of those things you're like, as your kids get older, you're like, should I be laughing about this?
Right.
Right. This is
You
too
just have
funny.
to let it out.
You have to let it
Yeah.
out. We cut it off, but that was probably in 10 years. That will be our memory from this
Right.
trip.
We didn't find a diamond, but we did find some old gray
They
balls.
found a diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Yeah. I always wonder why on documentaries they have that stuff in there. Like, what did that add to
What
the
did it
story?
add?
Yeah.
I know.
Anyway, I digress.
Something for y'all to talk about.
Yeah. A memory to make. All right. So you will see in the video, we've got a little setup here. We are staunch supporters of the Girl Scouts. My daughter's one.
Getting pretty hungry.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. We're sitting here over some delectable Girl Scout cookies here and we're all huge.
When's the last time you used that word?
It's, it,
About 3 seconds ago.
and the smoothness that
Yeah.
came out, it sounds like it's been a while.
Yeah, so want to set up what's going on here. Obviously, we're all big fans of March Madness and a good bracket. And it's been a while. This podcast has at time been a bracket-filled podcast, but we realized it's been on quite some time. So we felt with March Madness going on, it was time to get back in the lab.
Yeah, so we've there's many Girl Scout cookies. I think there's more than the 8 in front of us here, but we've picked our favorite 8 that we had access to, and we're going to kind of go through and do a taste test, March Madness style, and do cookie versus cookie, and all the way to the end to see which cookie is the common denominator's #1 Girl Scout.
All right,
cookie.
so we're going single elimination.
Single elimination.
So we're voting, or we have to come to a consensus?
Well, I think we should vote, but it's a great point, Lance. We
Okay.
have 4. So
Yeah.
what are we going to do?
I think it just
It's
has
a
to be
2-2.
majority, right? Well, if it's 2-2, I don't know.
Do we go? We have kind of seeded these. Do we go with the higher seed gets the tiebreaker? Coin
Either that or
flip?
whoever presents a better argument. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll work
Okay.
our way through it.
I'm gonna cross that bridge when we come to it,
Yeah.
kind of guy. So
All right.
All right, so here we
Well,
go.
Kyle, set us up here.
Round 1. All right, so we've got round 1. We've got the lower seeded. Let's see. Let me get the
Is it Samoa?
Samoa, if you'll know, and I'll let me give the little tagline that goes
Yes.
with it.
Okay.
Tell the audience
All right,
what's
purple
in there.
box, if that rings any bells
Uh-huh.
with anybody. Samoa, crisp cookie with caramel, coconut, and dark chocolatey stripes. You'll see this one. Everybody knows this one, the coconut style. All right, and our higher seed in this is the tag-along, a crowd favorite, a big seller for the Girl Scouts. We sold a lot of these this year. It's a crispy cookie layered with peanut butter and covered with a chocolatey coating. All right.
that's
So,
Can the taste testing begin? here?
Yes, we're going to do the lower seed first, Samoa.
okay. I mean,
Has there ever been a podcast with more chewing
No.
on it? This is probably like our 5th or 6th time.
Or
we've
breaking
eaten
teeth.
food.
If you remember Adam last
And
time we had
chairs.
one. Yep.
broke some chairs too. You know, I'm not a big fan of coconut.
I'm not either.
I do like this cookie though.
It is very
I will say
satisfying.
it is.
Mhm.
The one thing about this that's different from most Girl Scout cookies is it's softer.
Mm-hmm.
If you like a soft style cookie, this is.
It's got different flavor, different textures in
Yeah,
it.
I like it.
I'm
So
not
it's kind of surprisingly good.
I'm not a coconut guy, but I can tolerate these.
Okay.
Good texture. All right, cleanse your palate.
That was good.
All right, higher seed. We might have upset brewing already. I was not expecting to like that.
I
as
wasn't
much.
either,
Yeah.
because tag-alongs are usually my go-to.
All right, here we go.
This has been an upset tournament.
Yeah,
so
the tag along. Good old peanut butter and chocolate
I mean, just a completely different taste.
with a crisp cookie.
Mm-hmm.
Boys, that has to advance out of this bracket. I'm going to tag along.
I don't know. I think I'm going Samoa.
I think I am too.
I'm going Samoa also.
Lance, who's never had a Samoa. Do we have 3
What an
Samoas?
upset. Upset alert.
I knew when I saw it that I was going Samoa.
I think tag along might have been a number one overall pick.
Busted brackets
I think so.
already.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it's
Tag-along-
them and Thin Mints are the 1 and 2 for
Thanks,
sure.
Florida Atlantic's already advanced.
Yeah.
I don't want to get us off on too much of a side note, but the tag along has been dropping in my rankings for years. Have y'all noticed how much
Same.
smaller they are?
Oh, yeah.
And the peanut butter to chocolate ratio has changed.
Yeah. Shrinkflation's a real thing.
So
All right, so save whatever little bit of Samoa you've got. It's got to
All right.
advance.
Oh, we were supposed to save that.
Oh, we can get you another
I
one.
thought we were going all
we have
in with
extras.
these.
All right, so Lance, set up the next one. You got the next matchup.
What are we on here?
You can go thin mint. And
All right, so the higher seed. No, let's start with the lower seed, I
Yeah.
guess.
I think this is a possible upset.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
you're really gonna have to explain this one because I don't know if
This is
any
a
of us have
fairly
ever had
this
this.
is a
brand
fairly
new,
new.
isn't
yeah, so I
this
was gonna
is
say
new. This is the second year, I think.
the higher seed. I think is extremely popular. It definitely a higher seed that everybody's familiar with. But this lower seed one I've never even seen before or had before. It's called Adventurefuls. I feel like they didn't really try very hard in that
Yeah.
name.
That wasn't a whole lot of workshopping going on with that.
Okay, these are indulgent brownie inspired cookies with caramel flavored
Man, the way Lance it just
cream and
bowls off his
Man.
tongue, isn't
and
it?
a hint
Yeah.
of sea salt.
I feel like this.
He could do commercials.
This is like a start of a
Mr.
Viagra
Paul.
commercial.
And they've got the little tilde thing over the cream. I don't know what that means. Creme?
cream. Yeah.
Cream?
Great,
Yeah.
mate.
Creme.
I don't know how I'm supposed
It's
to
very
pronounce
French.
that.
It's creme.
It's French.
I think it's just cream, but that's just
And the higher seed, of course, is the Thin Mints,
Yeah.
which everybody's
Never
familiar
heard of
with.
yeah.
But you know what? I'm going to read it anyways. Crisp, chocolatey cookies made with natural oil of peppermint. That actually doesn't sound very good.
I'm going to tell you.
They don't have to have an explanation because everybody knows what it is.
Yeah.
This is I don't. That's my least favorite cookie. Of that.
The Thin Mint?
Yes.
Wow.
That,
I do
really?
not like the
that
Thin
is a
Mint.
hot take.
Yeah.
Some
you know,
people,
the
the
Thin
big
Mints are
argument.
actually good in... Oh, go ahead. I think I know where you're going, though.
Well, I was going to say, some people argue that you have to eat them like frozen.
Yeah.
Yep, I
Yeah.
agree. They are
Very
better
good frozen.
All right. What are we?
All right.
What's
We're
this
going-
one?
We start with the lower seed.
Ventureful.
Adventure.
Adventurables.
I gotta say, it tastes a lot like a Thin Mint.
I'm not blown
That
away.
might be the same cookie inside the
It's
Thin
gotta
Mint.
Oh, I think it did.
I'm not like blown away by it or anything. It's a solid cookie.
No,
But it didn't hit...
enjoyable, but
enjoyable.
All right. Cleanse your palates.
Cleanse balance.
That was disappointing. I was expecting a lot more.
I know, I was too. I was really hoping for another upset. All right, now the Thin Mint.
This is the bracket I would care not to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Both of these, neither one of these do it for me. Can both these teams lose?
I just like the light crispiness of the Thin Mint, and you get that aftertaste of the mint.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's Thin Mint.
it's close. But I'm gonna have to go Thin Mint as well.
Excuse me.
Say that again.
So it's close, but I'm gonna have to go with Thin Mint as well.
Well, he coughed.
Oh, okay.
I was going to delete that.
He's cutting my cough out.
Not now, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not from the video.
All right.
So we got 2 Thin Mints.
I'm going to go Thin Mint as well.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's 50-50.
I'll
It,
be-
it was close though, honestly.
I'll be contrarian and go with Ventureful because I just can't vote for Thin Mint. But I knew that was a losing effort.
All right.
You got to take a stand somewhere,
Yeah,
Kyle.
that's
So,
right.
Tagalongs and Adventurefuls have been eliminated.
Okay. Ryan, you set up
All
the
right.
next one.
Okay. Let's see. We've got 2, I would say, fairly more uncommon
Yeah,
Girl Scout
I would agree
cookies.
with
We've got the lower seed Do-Si-Do,
Love that
which
name.
is an oatmeal sandwich,
Sounds
Is
terrible.
that something you just start with?
peanut butter filling.
It's tough
Ooh,
to lead with
but
oatmeal
I am
sandwich.
a big peanut butter fan.
This
though.
is more the NIT tournament.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
round.
Now, I'm going to
No,
go ahead
this
and
is a
tell you.
play-in game.
Your,
Yeah.
your Vanderbilt. Oh.
This next one, the number 1 seed, has quickly risen.
It's
to the top.
sneaky.
It is my now favorite Girl Scout.
It's
cookie.
sneaky.
It's new to me this year. The Toffee-tastic.
It's sneaky.
So
What's in the Toffee-tastic?
Oh yeah. Well, it's got toffee lance.
I don't even know what
Hey,
toffee
It's
is.
fantastic.
It's gluten free, if that's important.
It is not.
to you. It is rich,
Not in my cookies anymore.
rich buttery cookies
Ooh,
with
that sounds
sweet, crunchy toffee bits.
I would say toffee's very caramel-like, right? It's a little different taste, but the texture and all right. So
is it this one right here?
Do-si-do,
Do-si-do.
Do-si-do.
peanut butter.
It's a nice crunch sound.
It's hefty. You got to give it credit for that. You feel like you're eating
It's
something.
like a Nutty Buddy.
That's
It's
exactly
exactly,
what it
like a Nutty Buddy.
It really soaks up the saliva in your mouth.
Yeah.
I'm noticing.
I do like Nutty Buddies.
Hey, that's pretty good.
It's solid.
Yeah, more pop than we had in the last round for sure.
Sure.
Cleanse the palate.
All right, that's about it.
It is such a Nutty Buddy, though.
We are so stupid.
Do you mean nut or butter?
Yeah. Nutter butter.
Wait,
Did I say Nutty Buddy?
Yeah,
I
Nutty,
said Nutty Buddy. Is Nutty Buddy the ice cream?
no, yes.
Yeah.
But
the
in
Nutter
the-
Butter is the
Yeah.
cookie?
It's the shape of the.
What's the peanut butter
peanut.
wafer ones though?
Peanut.
That's something along that lines. Anyways, different story. All right, Toffee-tastic. All right, boys.
I'm curious about this one.
Well, that's a hard pass right there.
Chewy. That has a light
Adam's
flavor.
getting the.
That was the first cookie
Little
I
evil
won't
eye
eat.
for me.
That's the first one I won't finish. That is not good.
Well, clearly, I'm going with the Toffee-tastic.
Man,
What do you like
it's
about
like
it? Because
sticks to your mouth.
I was hoping I would like
Well,
it more than I did.
It's kind of got that little shortbread cookie taste, which I like.
I do like the shortbread.
And I like toffee. I like the.
You like the
I like,
chewy-
I think
the-
I don't like the chewy.
Very
chewy.
sticky. It's sticky to your teeth for sure.
I got to go with the Dosey Doos. What is it?
the do-si dos.
Dosey Dos.
I'm gonna go do-si-do as well.
Yep, I'm going do-si-do.
All right.
I had another lower seed.
Sorry, Ryan.
Advance.
You want to finish mine? You're welcome to it if you want to.
Don't throw it away.
I mean, if I'm not...
All right, who's setting up? Should we have Lance's golden pot? Adam, you want to set up this last
Yeah,
one?
go for it.
Yeah,
All right,
that's 4 of them here.
let me have 'em.
Hand those over to him, Ryan. Yeah, this was your.
Oh yeah, I'm excited
Yeah.
about this.
This
one.
was my pick. All right, so this is the low seed.
Oh,
the
this
high
is one of
seed,
my
right?
picks in it too.
Yeah. No,
All right.
The shortbread was my pick.
shortbread's the high. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the high seed is a trefoils.
Is that French?
It is a trifle.
Oh,
Sounds
An
much better when you say
iconic-
it that
pretty
way.
good, Adam.
Well, thank you. An iconic shortbread cookies inspired by the original Girl Scout recipe. Whatever
Okay.
that means.
All right.
So on our OG, is this the OG? Sounds like it's
Apparently
the OG.
so.
All right, so just your and by looks, there's nothing.
There
it's
ain't-
just a
there ain't
stock.
nothing
What's,
the
what's, it,
regular
what's it
shortbread.
competing against?
It looks like a biscotti or
Oh
something.
yeah. Do you want to go ahead?
Oh
and
yeah,
pick
yeah.
this
Set
one?
up the
So
higher seed.
the high seed, which happens to be my personal favorite,
Mm.
is the s'mores. Also, they did not go very unique on this name. Graham sandwich cookies with chocolate and marshmallowy flavored filling.
Just what you'd expect out of a s'more.
And
I'm
there's
not, I'm not a s'more fan in general, so
Okay.
I'm interested.
Hmm.
All right, what are we trying here?
Shortbread.
Shortbread.
The trefoils.
I always thought it was trefoils, but it is just
I
TRE.
mean, it's a stock shortbread cookie.
It's a solid shortbread flavor.
Yeah.
I like it.
It tastes like a biscotti, like a.
It's simple, but I like it.
Yeah.
That's the kind of cookie that makes a
Just
good
like you,
solid
Lance.
Sweet 16 run.
Yeah.
Do they have enough firepower to get to the finals?
Mm.
Much like our volunteers,
Yep.
probably not.
Mm.
But is it solid? Yes. They play good defense. They hustle. That's all analogies I got.
Cleanse the palate.
Yep, cleanse the palate.
Mm-hmm.
We should work cleanse the palate more into the podcast. All right. This is the heftiest of the cookies.
It is
Yeah,
heavy,
This is a meal.
and there might be like 6 in this whole box
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Like
Wow.
they're proud of them. I gotta say. All right.
I think that's the highest, the most expensive of the cookies.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's good.
Mm.
I mean.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that it tastes like a s'more,
No,
but it's good.
That's why I like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pleasantly surprised.
This is good. This is very good.
It sounds
mean,
like
that's
it's unanimous.
That's
S'more.
It's got
S'more.
it's got like a chocolate and vanilla filling.
Nothing wrong with the shortbread, but
Right.
No.
that's more.
So we got to reseed here.
Well,
Out of
we're-
these 4,
I think the Dosey Do is the
Lowest
lowest
seed.
seed
I would go
Yeah,
s'mores
that's
the highest seed. So those two about
because it was unanimous. Yeah.
All right, let me see the s'more package, Adam. So we got the
And then I
Yeah,
s'more
we gotta-
versus the do-si dough.
Yep, and then it'll be Samoa versus Thin Mint.
Okay.
And
Where we
Thin
going first?
Yeah, we're going Samoa lower seed. Thin Mint's iconic. We gotta go
Uh-huh.
Samoa lower seed, right?
All right.
Yeah.
All right,
Let's start with the Samoa.
Samoa it is.
Oh, we're doing more.
You need a
We gotta-
Samoa.
Yeah,
Here.
we got to go back to back. Yeah.
I
Have
didn't-
you
I
ever
didn't
watched
bite off
March
mine.
Madness, Adam?
Teams
Have
have
to
to
play more
advance.
than one
Adam.
I was
game.
so excited about the cookies.
I don't know if our audience is going to come back for multiple episodes of
Yeah.
cookies. We got to get to the champion
Right.
tonight.
Again,
Hmm.
do I like coconut? Absolutely not.
But that is good.
It's actually a pretty good cookie.
I'm taking that over Thin Mint all day.
Well, I'm gonna try it again just to make sure. But that's solid.
I don't even need to try the Thin Mint,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm going to.
I've cleansed my palate. I can't believe this. I'm going with a coconut cookie, and I hate coconut.
Yep. Samoa's.
Me too. Samoa.
Get out of here, Thin
all
Mint.
day.
That was a blowout.
I mean, that was
4-0.
possibly was that our lowest seed or next to lowest when we picked?
Samoa was like maybe the fifth or sixth one off
Yeah,
the
it
board.
was low.
Samoa is in the championship.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what we got
Oh,
here? We got the
Lemon up, or no? I'm sorry.
Dosey do.
Dosey dough.
we got a late entry
Yeah.
in the tournament here.
Lemon up.
Is that a play-in game I didn't know about?
Yeah, yeah. Oh my goodness, the 16 seed has come out of nowhere.
We're doing the do-si-do. All
That
right.
would have been like the COVID tournament where one team couldn't play, so they
Yeah.
had the backup team come in.
This is about to be a blowout.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's fine.
It's a letdown.
I don't have to taste either one of those two. I know exactly where I'm going.
Yeah. That's a.
We have our championship, right?
Mm-hmm.
The s'more will take on. I gotta
Yeah.
reload.
Everybody going with the s'more there?
I just
Yeah.
ate my whole s'more by accident. We get another one.
Yeah, I'm gonna need another one too.
All right.
You can literally hear us getting fatter.
I need a half a s'more.
Just take a whole one.
Yeah.
That's like $10 worth of s'mores right there.
All right.
Man, this is gonna.
What are we gonna have the higher?
All right. So
I
what we
mean,
got here?
s'more's the higher seed, right?
We got the what's left?
S'more and
the
Samoa.
and the Samoa.
Yep.
Oh.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, both of them had a clean sweep.
Yeah. Both teams have had no
So at this
trouble.
point, I don't even think the seeding matters.
Yeah.
All right. So what we're going with first?
Gosh, I just had the s'more, so I think
Yeah.
we need to
Yeah,
go
go
with
Girl
Samoa
Scout.
next.
Let me cleanse. I don't mean my
Russ will
cold.
do more cleansing than we've
Yeah,
had.
I'll be cleansed. All right, after I crap all these cookies out in the morning. All right.
What are we going with?
Samoa.
The Samoa. All right.
This is the most.
going Girl Scout.
This is the. This is the most coconut I've eaten in like 6 years. This is a true heavyweight showdown right here.
This is.
It is good.
Going
They're
into
so
this, I
good.
would have thought at least the Thin Men or the Tag Along would have made the championship.
They're overrated.
I can't believe
It's like Duke.
That's good.
it. All right, smart.
Cleanse.
Snort.
I'm gonna have to explain myself, but I have a decision.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I mean, why it's on my brain.
Yeah, this is the championship.
Which one of these am I gonna buy if I'm spending my own money on it? The s'more. But I've got to give the win to the Samoa, just for the complexity of it. It's got the soft cookie inside, which gives it. I like soft cookies.
It's exotic or something.
Yeah, the texture. You get the texture, and then the finish. I do not like coconut, but in this case with the chocolate,
Very nice
the
finish.
finish is really good.
Yeah.
The s'more hits you with its flavor, and that's all you get. It's that s'more flavor. The Samoa is more complicated. You start with that soft cookie,
Yeah.
you work your way through the chocolate, finish with a coconut. I'm going with your champion out of nowhere, out of the West.
The
bracket.
non-coconut lover.
Yeah, and I do
Samoa.
not like coconut.
Samoa, yeah. It's for Samoa for me too.
Me too.
Adam.
Is he alone to
Not that it matters, but
Adam came in. hot
It
and
doesn't
heavy
matter at
on,
this
on the
point.
s'mores, but I mean, for the record,
I have to stick with the s'more because you're right. That was my original pick, and it is tight. I've only recently become a Samoa fan, but I do like the Samoas. I have to go s'more, so it's not going to be unanimous,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
that's okay.
But,
that's okay.
That's
That's a moral victory for your team.
yeah.
Let me-
I could have gone either way.
let me ask you this though: what was y'all's least favorite cookie?
The one that's still on my plate. That's the least favorite.
The toffee.
Tastic.
Toffee.
The toffee was not tastic for me.
No, it
either.
was not either.
Um,
I'm sorry, Ryan.
I would probably go with just the old shortbread was probably. Yeah, probably short. I mean, I didn't dislike it, but I'm just like, it's just
Just
plain
shortbread.
cookie.
Yeah,
yeah, a little plain for me.
fair enough.
Well, there you have it. Unbelievable. I would call this. This is the 11 seed, 12 seed winning the championship.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
And
mean,
you know-
I'm sure, like Girl Scout aficionados would argue that Samoa is already the number one, anyways. But I don't really eat Girl Scout
well,
cookies a lot. So
here's some. We had
Thin mints outsell everything by a landslide.
yeah, them mints are very
Yeah.
popular.
we had our fact checkers do some fact checking while we were eating,
Nice.
and they came back and said the Samoa cookie is named for the Samoa Islands, maybe. But it is the second in sales only to the Thin Mints, and they were added in 1975. So I know the s'mores have only been around for a couple years. So I mean, that's almost 50 years worth of
Yeah.
heritage right
So
there.
Samoas know their cookies, right?
They do.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, intern Randy.
Yeah. Intern Randy on
Finally making his money.
tickling the ivory over there. All
Are
right.
kids still named Randy anymore?
Man, that's a whole podcast of names. That
really good
yeah, Right.
Well, you know a Randall.
Yeah, I know Randall.
Like,
But I
do you
don't-
know a current, like
Does he go by
a new
Randy?
Randall?
No.
You don't pick your kids up from school and a kid waves his buddy Randy as he's leaving. You don't.
Hey, Randy.
Yeah. I know some Randys, but like you said, they're all 60,
Who do you want to come to your birthday
55.
party? Oh, I
Right.
gotta have Randy there.
Where's Randy? Yeah.
I feel like it was.
Our apologies
probably,
to anybody named Randy.
Yeah, Randy's a fine name.
I mean, it had to be very popular, when Randy Travis was big, right? But
Right.
now there's not really any big Randys.
No, that's not even.
That was like maybe an '80s name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the what was the Mike Myers movie? Are you feeling Randy?
Are you feeling Randy?
I think that
Yeah.
probably ruined it for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, Randy Bullock, a former
yeah.
Titan. That's probably the youngest Randy that
Let's
I
name our favorite Randy.
Was it Randy Orton?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the wrestler Randy Orton.
Macho Man Randy
Oh,
Savage.
yeah.
Oh, a legend.
There's some good Randy
Legend.
names.
There are some good Randys.
I'm not. Yeah, that is some good Randys.
There's gotta
All over 40, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
I think
no
we just
young
named the
Randys.
Mount Rushmore of Randys.
Yeah.
We've got
Yeah.
Randy Travis, Randy Orton, Randy Savage.
Randy Johnson.
Ooh,
Oh,
Randy.
that's your
Yeah, the
unit.
unit. Yeah,
Nice.
the only man to
Don't-
kill
yeah,
a
don't leave
bird.
the big unit
Yeah.
off Mount Rushmore.
That
big unit.
every time that bird video comes up, that's a must watch when he blows that bird up.
There's probably
Oh
some-
yeah.
That is a great video.
There's got to be more Randys.
Randy.
What about Randolphs? Is Randolph long for Randy? Not that there's like a lot of Randolphs.
Is
out there.
Randy a shorten of, like you said, Randall, or
It's got to be shortened version of
I
Randall.
mean, are people
we
just
got
named
we
Randy?
got Randy Moss.
Oh yeah, that's Mount
man.
Rushmore.
Yeah.
Somebody Orton's getting bumped for Randy Moss.
What'd you type in over there? Famous Randys.
Famous Randy.
Yeah,
I think Macho Man Randy
Yes.
Moss. That's on there
That's
for
the
sure.
two.
What are the other two then?
We did have Randy Orton.
Randy Travis. That's a
Johnson.
legend. Did you have Randy Travis?
I think Randy
Randy
Travis
Jackson.
is number 3.
Randy Jackson from
Nah.
That's
American
dog.
Idol.
Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't do it for me.
Randy Johnson.
So what we got?
Randy Couture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
MMA. Yeah, that's niche though.
Yeah, this is getting low. This
Yeah.
is getting pretty low.
I'm gonna go
I gotta
Randy
say.
Johnson, Randy Macho Man Savage.
I think we've named our famous Randys.
Randy Travis.
Yeah,
What are we going with our fourth Randy? We got every Mount Rushmore here.
I think Randy Orton's pretty popular in the wrestling scene, but
Did
Yeah,
we
I
get
gotta go
Randy
Randy
Moss?
Moss.
Yeah.
Yeah, Randy Moss.
Get lost.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. There's your
And if you,
There's
if
your
you
top-
didn't know you needed it, you
your
got it.
top 5 Randys.
Yep.
You know that's
Unsolicited.
for kids on the playground these days. That phrase is big. Get mossed
Oh yeah.
when they play football in the back.
Yeah.
They don't even know who Randy Moss is. Grant says it. He had no idea. It's just if you catch
You
the
got
ball over
mossed,
somebody,
yeah.
you got mossed.
Man, I remember watching him come up and like, holy. I mean, he gave Dante Culpepper a career. I mean, all you had to do was throw it within like 8 yards of Randy Moss, and he was catching it. Dude was unbelievable.
And who would have known that he would be a good broadcaster as well?
Yeah.
I mean, in Thursday Night Football, he's I like him.
My most favorite thing is when he called into the sports talk here, local sports
Allegedly.
talk. Yeah. What was his name? What did he call in as? You remember?
I don't remember this. What's the
Oh
story?
yeah. So
can't remember
it was
his
when
name.
Clay Travis was on local sports talk here,
Mm-hmm.
and Randy Moss was still with the Titans. He was still with them, right? But that was that year that was just lost into oblivion. And he calls in as some other guy and asks what they thought of Jeff Fisher. And it was obvious. I mean, it was Randy Moss.
Yeah.
And even Clayton
It's
was like,
such a distinct
'cause
that
voice.
it's
sounded,
very
that sounded like
distinct.
Randy Moss, but the guy called in as like Doug or something like that. And it was like,
Oh,
wait.
that's hilarious.
Yeah, you can find the clip of it. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Man, that was a pretty nice little tangent there.
Woody.
Woody?
Is he calling his
Woody. That's who
Yeah.
it was. Woody. He called in as Woody, which is another fantastic
Another name you
Yeah.
don't hear children.
Woody Harrelson. That's all I can come up with that one.
Let me see if I can play it. Hold on a second.
Woody in Nashville next up. Hey, Woody.
What's up?
How are you?
All right, you.
Good.
If Jeff Fisher was coach of Tennessee, would they love him with his record?
Who?
That is
Vols?
so
That's
Randy Moss.
definitely
Yeah,
Randy
no.
Moss.
He'd be fired.
Oh, okay. Well, what about when you fired Norm Chow by telephone? Everybody's dog fence. Why couldn't they even dog him?
Woody, you're unhappy, man. What's going on?
I'm happy. I don't like Fisher.
Oh, it could be the last game of his coaching career on Sunday.
Well, hope so.
Woody, you know.
They went back, and
Wait,
after further review, they were like, wait a minute.
Was that?
Oh, I
Randy
thought they were going
Moss?
to confront him like during the interview.
No. It was
Okay.
later
that
on.
was
They're
in the
like,
call.
I think somebody might have called in and goes, was that Randy Moss? And that set off the whole of like, oh, crap. I think that was Randy Moss. Yeah, good
That's
times.
hilarious.
All right. Well, we've broken into an impromptu famous Randys.
Yeah, how about that?
You're not going to get
That's-
this kind
that's
of
one of the-
content anywhere else.
It's one of the tougher segues from.
Yeah, how do you
where
get out
go
of the
from
Randy, the
It's
Randy
so
zone?
obscure.
Yeah.
So you guys went on a little vacation. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, had a great time. We
Camping trip, right?
Ryan came across half the nation to meet us up in Pigeon Forge on our annual
Hang on,
spring
Lance has
break.
got to give him
I'm
another
gonna have
cookie.
He's
another
getting
Samoa
another
real
cookie.
quick.
Yeah.
And he can't do it quietly,
It's-
so we might as
It's
well.
a championship cookie. You got to
continue-
get in there.
continue
Elephant in the
on.
room.
So yeah, we ventured across to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, as most people have probably been there that listen to this or are familiar with it over in the Smoky Mountains. But we really mixed it up this year. We went to a Camp Margaritaville in the mountains. I would say it was a weird place. Was awesome, but it was a weird vibe, feeling like you were at the beach, sitting in the middle of the Smoky Mountains. Fair to say.
Oh yeah.
I mean, everything was beach vibe about the entire place.
Did they have like an actual beach, like sand and stuff?
Well, the pool kind of looked like the way they made the pool look. It was
Oh,
zero
zero entry,
entry,
yeah.
and it kind of looked like sand, and it was pretty neat setup. They had a nice beach bar right next to the pool, so played, of course, island type music, Kenny Chesney, and
So y'all, this is a
Margaritaville.
campground, like
Yeah.
RV campground.
but it's like
They also have a hotel there as well.
right, like a big lodge that has all kind of stuff to do in it, but super nice. Probably the nicest campground I've ever stayed at.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, Kyle. When I walked up or drove up, Kyle's got on his muck boots, some sweatpants, and like a camo rain jacket
Yeah.
or
I
I
something.
feel like Kyle's
Yeah.
muck boots get
And you're
brought up
like,
a lot on
yeah,
this podcast.
There's one thing here that doesn't fit in with this campground.
Yes,
and it was
it
Kyle.
was me. It had rained a little that day, so I was determined not to get my feet wet. But the worst part was,
Or your knees.
and I didn't really realize it, but we kind of cruised over to the lodge that night, just checked things out, and went down to the arcade. And they had this big arcade downstairs, and pool tables, and shuffleboard, and I don't know if y'all ever played duck pin bowling. It's like the miniature version of bowling. Really cool, fun game. But we'll have to post pictures of the evidence. Apparently, I just forgot what I was wearing and rolled up into this nice lodge hotel wearing muck boots, sweatpants, and a rain
Well,
jacket.
I hate to say, I think there's something going on with you. We know that you don't really care a lot about what people think.
No, yes.
But
This
I
is
believe
accurate.
it has increased because have you not forgotten about when we went to the pool
I probably
later? That I don't know if it was that night or the next day. I'm at the pool swimming. It's a little bit cold out, and
Oh.
I see somebody kind of shuffling down the road, and I'm like, who is that? Kind of
I know where you're going.
you know what I'm saying? I don't
Yes.
know, a saunter, a
Yeah.
little bit of a saunter.
It was a Ric Flair type jaunt down there.
And he gets close enough, I realize, because of his bald head, I'm like, that's Kyle. He has on his robe.
I got my house coat robe. Hey, listen. I was heading to the pool.
I like that he brought a robe
Yeah.
to a camping trip.
Well,
Let's talk about
my
that.
thoughts were is like it ended up being warmer probably than what we expected it to be because the pool was heated. But we've been in heated pools in the winter before, and like getting back to the camper is a nightmare. So our whole thought process was, let's take the house coats, and that'll get us from said pool.
Oh, we're calling them house coats.
Yeah,
now.
yeah. Camper coat. We'll call it a camper, coat. Yeah.
Not a robe.
Yeah,
folks.
camper coat. So my thought process was, hey, I'm not, looks be damned, I'm not going to be cold.
It was a real power move.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
And I was the only one in the house coat.
Was it white?
No,
like Uncle
navy,
Eddie?
blue.
Navy
Oh.
blue, baby.
See, I'm expecting like an Uncle Eddie,
No, I gotta
cousin
get,
Eddie.
I got to get my name embroidered on it or my initials. That's all that lacking, but yeah. Yeah.
If only you had to empty the crapper there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that'd be great.
Shitter's full. Yeah. So yeah, we had a good time though, man. Kids loved it. They were, I mean, my kids never want to leave somewhere, but they were like depressed coming home and
Well,
the
that's a
next
good
day.
sign.
Yeah. So we had a good time. It's going to open in us a business of we discovered while we were up there that there are a whole lot of people living in campers now traveling around the country. We ran into 2 we know of for sure
Living full time.
living full time in their campers, and the one guy was getting paid by the city of Pigeon Forge to stay at this place and just post socially about it, and so
The city, that still
Yeah.
blows my mind. Why does Pigeon Forge need more tourism?
who
They're
knows?
blowing up as it is.
I don't know.
They're that desperate. They're reaching out to
I guess
RVers.
maybe smartly they're spending their marketing dollars more on a social media thing. I guess maybe they're trying to be cutting edge. I don't know.
I feel like they're doing okay though.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Maybe not.
Who
I'm
knows?
going to ask y'all a Gallenberg question. This may blow my whole point, but we'll see if you guys come up with the same answer as me. So, as a young man, I say 21 earlier, there's one store that was
Oh,
on
yeah.
the Gatlinburg Strip that
Oh,
you
I
just
know.
had to go to.
I know which one you're talking about.
What is it?
China Bazaar.
Oh man,
Yep.
good call.
China Bazaar. So
Yeah.
if you've never been there, it's got everything from blowguns to nunchucks to throwing stars,
Switchblade knife.
switchblades, anything a young boy could
Switchblade comb.
want.
Yes, I had one of those when I had her.
So we decide on the very first night we're going to take Reed and Grant down there because we have my blowgun at home that we use camping. We take it and shoot. We're like, we'll get you your own.
Wait, what do you shoot with a blowgun?
I'd like to some
Each
more.
other.
Let's dive into this a little bit.
Well,
Squirrels, birds.
usually we just shoot targets, but as a youth, I did shoot one bird with it.
No way.
With a blowgun?
With a
Is
blowgun.
this like a darts in it?
Yeah, and you can get pretty accurate.
Yeah.
This
Within,
seems very
30
like Jackie
feet.
Chan type stuff. Like
They're a lot of fun. I highly recommend.
They are
them.
fun.
But let me just say, if
Maybe
you
not
if
Jackie
you want
Chan.
to if you want to get one from China Bazaar, don't go to Gatlinburg.
It's a pile of rubble, boys.
We walked
Really?
down,
Oh,
and there was a
no.
huge sign on the fence that says China Bazaar, a historic thing.
Yeah. Been on that
Has
corner forever.
moved. It's been torn down, and it's now way down in Pigeon Forge.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was
Which
it was the only sad moment. in my
which we
trip.
didn't go, right?
Right, we never went.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be where it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got fond memories of that place. We were up there on a church trip one time. My parents always chaperoned it, but this is always one of my fond memories of China Bazaar. Of course, that was one of the first places we went was in China Bazaar. And I mean, what kid doesn't need a throwing star on a church trip? I
Right.
mean, exactly. I mean, nothing's going to go wrong for
could
the
go
rest.
wrong?
Yeah. Well, anyways, this kid, he didn't have his parents there or anything, but he blew his entire budget. You know, you have your family sends you with per diem for your food and everything. This is how much money you'll need for the whole week. We blew his entire budget on some throwing stars and a butterfly knife. You know what I'm talking about? A
Money
butterfly
well
knife?
spent,
Yeah. So you can flip it. You see those people move.
Kind of like a pocket fisherman, but it moves a little bit better.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I guess he thought he was an expert at that, and within 10 minutes of leaving the store, he cut his finger basically to the bone. So he had no money.
Spent all his money.
Yeah, he had no money in stitches, I think, to go. I can't remember if we just kind of taped it up or if he had to go get stitches. I don't remember that
you
part.
just left him at the hospital.
I just remember, you know that look on somebody's face, like that 10 milliseconds after something goes wrong, and there's that just blank look on.
That's when he knew.
Yeah.
He messed up.
Right.
Should have gone with the brass knuckles.
Yeah. Yeah.
I always wanted a pair of brass
Yeah.
knuckles.
Or an extra cheeseburger.
Gosh, that's one of my favorite memories. And we were just all like, and and then you just see boom, blood pumping out. So, yeah, good times at the China Bazaar. So the rest of the week, my parents bought him food, and he had a taped up finger. He couldn't get in a swimming pool. So, good times.
Lesson learned.
Yeah, and that's when he turned his life over to the Lord that weekend.
I bet that memory sticks out in his mind as much as it sticks out in yours.
Oh yeah, you know, it was just like, oh my gosh. But yeah, good times. So, man, like you said, that's like a corner staple. I can't believe that was gone. It'll be some hotel or something like that.
Well, at least they relocated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All the good stuff's going to Pigeon Forge.
it is. There's not much happening in Gatlinburg. That was the deadest I've ever seen it when we were up there.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Everybody's in Pigeon Forge.
And y'all went to Dollywood.
We
right?
did Dollywood. Good time. Man, if this is Dollywood pays nothing for this podcast, which they did, but that is a great park to take your family. If you haven't been there, it's worth it. Clean, people are friendly. I mean, it's good. It's always crowded now because the secret's out, but it's still a good time. A lot of good rides for little kids all the way up to adults. A lot of good stuff.
They have a whole like under 5
Yeah,
area, right?
yeah.
Like splash pad and stuff like
Now,
that.
now, how often does Dolly make an appearance there?
2 or 3 times a year.
Oh, so
Yeah,
not very often.
not very often. So she's always there for the opening of the park every year usually, and if there's some kind of big thing going on. But
So, if I recall, it was the same time last year that our Kyle and I's families went, and the parking was a disaster. Did
Yes.
they fix all that up?
It was better, but not good.
Oh,
So
wow.
we still got pushed up to the top part.
So
And
you still didn't do the shuttle.
no, we sit there and debate, and we're like, man, we're going to get hung up waiting on the shuttle. So, which we had planned to leave a little bit before closing, so we didn't get caught up in the cycle. Which we did okay there, but man, we got the way the booth split. We got pushed up to Splash Country, which is 25-minute walk away, so you can't walk. And then we waited up there for
Another shuttle.
20-25 minutes probably for another shuttle to pick us up. So parking still. I don't know why they changed all that. It was fine before, but now it's a little questionable.
That's kind of messed up. That was a year ago, and it's still
It still was not great. We got in okay, but it was just waiting on the shuttles.
And there was at least one punk kid in the park because we were up on Lightning Rod. Y'all know that roller coaster, the big wooden one. It's always shut down.
Yeah.
Like, almost every time I've been there, it shut down when it was open. It would close and then would open back up. So
That's a ride you want to ride.
Yeah.
One that's
It's
perpetually
a
closed.
real thrill.
Right.
I mean, it is an awesome ride.
They
when it's
only
working.
great ride.
they only
Yeah.
close it when somebody dies.
Yeah.
So we get in, me and the boys get in line and wait about 45 minutes. We get up to the area, like the staging area, where, probably 10 minutes from getting on, and some punk kid pulls the fire alarm.
Oh,
And they abandon, make everybody get out. And so we're just like, oh,
Lose
my
your
gosh,
spot in line,
can't
game
believe
over.
that.
Yeah.
So we go off, we come back an hour or two later, still shut down, but we happen to be standing there in line to get ice cream, and all of a sudden the doors open.
And
it's
there's
like,
probably 30 people over just kind of lingering.
yeah, 30, 40 people.
Make a run.
And
for
all
it.
of a sudden, everybody starts making a run for it. So we get in, perfect. We go like almost right up to the top. In 5 minutes, we're up there. We get on the cars.
Strapping
And
in.
Everybody's strapped in, and then you see the little attendants looking around, and they're like, "Sorry, everyone, you're gonna have to exit the
Oh, my gosh.
ride." So we get back off. We get our spots in line, and there's hope. And they're like, "We're just gonna send a few test cars through." Which also,
I
yeah,
can't believe
Adam,
y'all
to
would-
your point.
Why would you want to ride something like this?
Grant,
this is crazy.
Grant's like, is this safe, Daddy?
Of course.
I'm like, sure, they're experts.
Yeah.
Yes, it'll be fun.
Just high
Don't
school
worry,
kids.
son. Your mom's going to be rich
Yeah.
after this thing
That
derails.
16-year-old girl
Yeah.
that was working at Dairy Queen last week. I have full confidence in her.
But we got so close to the taste of riding it, we're like, we'll wait it out. So we stood there for about another 30 minutes until they finally said, you can continue waiting, but we have absolutely no idea
Oh
when
my
this ride's going to
gosh.
open back up. So
That's been the flakiest ride I've ever seen in an amusement park. But it is fun if you ever get to ride it. But other than that, yeah, we had a great time. It was great weather. We call it great weather this year. We didn't have any snow like we had last year. So
That was an
good.
epic trip.
We did have a pretty epic thunderstorm roll through that I've camped basically most of my life. I've been through some storms. You roll in your awning and, whatever. I think I've had to go to a bathhouse or something one time in a pretty bad storm. But that one just kind of caught us at like 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning. It's one thing. We had rolled everything in because we knew it was going to be some weather coming. But I think it might have been a little stouter than what they were thinking. And, man, I woke up at like 3:30 or 4 o'clock. And my first thought when I felt the wind moving the camper was, what's our escape plan when this tips over? And I don't normally get nervous about anything, but
Did you feel it moving?
oh heck yeah, you could feel it
Holy
moving.
crap.
Yeah, you could. I mean, there's a couple things. I thought I'd lost 2 things. Ryan found one of them over at his camper, but we have those little green trash cans.
Yeah.
I had stuck it, kind of wedged it under my table. It's somewhere in North Carolina.
walk
I
the
guess.
entire
Yeah,
campground.
we walked
no trash
everywhere,
can to
no
be found.
trash can to be found, so it's gone. But yeah, dude, it was getting the wobble thing going on.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We'll start a GoFundMe, Kyle. We'll get you
Yeah,
a new
give me a
trash
new
can.
trash can. Tough times at the Binkley camper, but
Set the budget at $25.
I didn't lose my bathrobe though, so that's all that matters. But yeah,
I
other
mean,
than that,
well-
when you're talking about full-time camping, that's the stuff I think about. It's like, okay, well, yeah, it's awesome when it's 70 degrees and
Right.
it's a fun weekend, but what do you do when it's like 0 or it's winds blowing 80 miles an hour?
that 28-foot camper gets real small real fast.
And I would think like the fifth wheels would probably have more propensity to. Go ahead. I would think they'd be more likely to tip over than the.
I would figure they got more weight behind them though.
Yeah, they're top heavy.
They're
Who
quite
knows?
a bit heavier.
I don't know. I don't want to be neither one of them.
Needless to say, we walked around. No campers were flipped in the
Man, it's crazy.
storm of. But that's 2 years in a row. Last year, we were up
Yeah.
there with you guys, and we literally got 7 inches of snow while we were in the camper.
We experienced all 4 seasons.
Yeah, and it was
that
5
weekend.
degrees that night.
Yeah.
That was the one time Adam and I made possibly the greatest purchase we've ever made before we left for that trip. Was a heated hose pipe.
The heated hose pipe.
If you're a camper and you don't have a heated hose pipe, you're not doing it right. Because if you ever freeze your hose pipe up and don't have water, not good times. And then this year was the tornadic storm that came through.
But also, don't forget that I don't want to dwell too much on this, but that same week last year when it snowed, the night before it snowed, it was 60 degrees, and 2 days later it was over 70 degrees,
Yeah,
I remember.
we had like a 2-day window,
Yeah, we
6
hit like
inches
all
of
4
snow,
seasons.
and it's crazy. But yeah, good times on spring break.
Well, we had a staycation, I guess you would say.
Yeah, how was that?
Well, it was good. I mean, honestly, it was pretty relaxing.
Is it a break from?
No.
I mean, because y'all are home. Well, Timmy's not home, but I mean,
Yeah.
you're home with the kids pretty much all day, aren't
Yeah,
you?
which like I'm a homebody. Like I'm fine being home. It was just, but no. I mean, it was honestly nice not to have to pack and go anywhere. The only downside to it is like part of the reason we did a staycation is because Thea had a surgery scheduled, and that's my middle daughter who's 4, And as luck would have it, we scheduled her surgery, not knowing it was spring break, but it was fine. I mean, it actually worked out because I was able to just take a couple days off work, so I wanted to be there with her after she recovered from her surgery. And Thea's like, she's just my. I'm trying to find the right words, but she's just like she's my girl. She's daddy's girl.
We know she asks a lot of questions.
She asks a lot of questions.
We've covered that.
And so, to our shock, maybe like a month or so ago, we found out that she had a hernia that needed to be repaired. And apparently it's kind of rare, like for her age and also females. I guess it's more common in boys. But they said it, might have been one of those things that had been with her since birth, and it didn't actually like protrude through the natural hole or whatever that's down there until, later on in life, until, she had a bad cough or whatever, and that somehow pushed it out, and we had to get it surgically repaired. So I'm super nervous because, my son, has a history of being in hospitals, and, I'm always nervous about anesthesia or anybody going under anesthesia, because I just have this irrational fear that once they go under, I'm not going to see them again.
Right.
Like, that's just this dad thing that I always have, and I automatically think the worst thing is going to happen. So, I can't, leading up to it, I can't sleep for days in advance. Like, I'm just really struggling. I'm having a lot of anxiety about it. And I'm just trying to, spend every moment I can with Thea, just be extra sweet to her. And we just have a great bond, but she's kind of started to get like a little bit sassy with me, and she'll kind of like talk back to me sometimes. And I can't help but just laugh about it. So it's just kind of like
That
this.
doesn't help.
Yeah. It's just kind of like this, taking give and take thing that we have. And so I decide that I'm going to have a conversation with her to try to relax her before the surgery. This is like the night before, because my wife and I had actually had a hernia repaired as well. And I was like, I've got a great idea.
So you got a family tradition of
Yeah.
hernias going.
Yeah, hers is a little bit different in the way they repaired it. But she's asking all these questions about are they gonna cut me, or are they gonna feel anything? And I just was like, hey, they're gonna give you some sleepy medicine. You're not gonna feel a thing. I said, we'll give you some pain medicines, and you'll be good to go. I was like, the only thing you'll have, I was like, is they're gonna they will make a little. I was like, they're gonna make a little tiny cut on your stomach or whatever. And I was like, I've got a great idea though, because she's a girl and she's very, very she's very conscious. Well, not self-conscious, but she's very aware of her looks. So my fear was that
She's a girly girl.
yeah, she's a girly girl. I'm afraid that she's going to look down at these little stitches or scars and be very self-conscious about it. And so I was like, man, I've got a great idea. I've got a picture of when I had my hernia surgery, of my stitches and everything, and I'm going to show her the picture, and I'm going to show her my stomach now and be like, look, it's it's magic. Like my body's healed.
Any excuse for Lance to show his abs.
Yeah. I was like, you're not
now
going to
count
have
them, Thea. There's 6 of them down there.
So I'm telling her the story. I'm like, I had the exact same surgery done, and she, the whole time she's just very like stone faced. She's just looking at me and she's taking it all in. And I'm kind of like, I get towards the end of my story, and I'm like,
nailing this. This is great.
yeah, I'm like, this is great. This is going well. Like, she's taking it all in. And, I get to the end of my story, and I was like, you're not going to have these stitches anymore. I was like, look at Daddy. Look at this picture. I was like, and I'm just fine now. And she kind of starts to get this little smile that comes like in the corner of her eye. And I'm sorry, corner of her mouth starts to go up. She's grinning, and I'm like, okay, so I think this is good. I think she's going to say something good. And then she goes, well, did you cry like a dumb baby? And I'm like, what? Why are you doing this?
We had a moment.
I didn't.
We had a moment, and then you had to sass me. Like, I just don't get it. So that's
kids.
my daughter. Like,
Man.
we just have a
So
kind of
obviously
relationship.
everything went well. She's all
Yeah,
good.
everything went
Yeah.
great. I mean, like, when I had mine, it took like, a couple days I was in pain, and then the full recovery was like maybe somewhere between 6 to 8 weeks. I mean, I could still function just fine, just not like high activity level. She's like already functioning like a week later, just normal. She's like, everything's back to normal.
Oh.
So
That's my favorite stage of kids, is when they start figuring out they can be a little bit funny.
Yeah.
I mean, there's things they find that are funny. They run into the ground.
Yeah.
But when they little things like that where they figure out how to like
Little
fire
sarcasm
back, fire
or-
back.
Yeah.
at you.
I was like, where is this coming
Well, I
from?
was like, what did you?
and I'm like, why
yeah.
did the baby have to be dumb?
Yeah, yeah. Explain yourself. Yeah, that's my favorite part of parenting. That little phase where they're, and then it just keeps getting worse. The sassiness. But,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, right.
But like props to Vanderbilt Children's. Like I actually thought she was gonna have to be awake when they put the IV in her, but like no, like they just gave her like the gas medicine or whatever, and she was knocked out for the whole thing. Didn't even feel them putting an IV in. So pretty much a painless procedure for her. So
man, I remember the last like major thing that Emory had done. I wasn't expecting this. She had to have like some major dental surgery. It's been a few years ago. She was probably, I don't know, 6 or something, 5, 6. I don't remember. But anyways, I knew the whole procedure of putting her to sleep and all that. But like before that, they gave her like this, it would look like high C. And, and that was to kind of take the edge off so she wouldn't be all trippy when they were laying her down to, you know, do the anesthesia and put her to sleep. Dude, that is still the funniest thing that I have ever seen. It's very much the videos you see now when somebody's coming out from their wisdom teeth. Like, but it was just like you poured a bottle of tequila down her throat and it had instant effect. She was just emotional and like, what? My face is all slow. I mean, I think we might still have video of it because it was like one of those things. I got to shoot a little video of this, but it was of course, you're under that situation, and I too was nervous about everything and all this going on. But that was like the funniest. I mean, she was instantly drunk and just like, my face is all. She was saying slow, but I guess it was numb or something, and it was just like, man, that was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Can I have what she's
Yeah, what is that?
Right.
What brand is that? Yeah, take
It's
some
not
of that.
Gatorade.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good times.
Oh man, no, she didn't get that. Maybe they give that to the older kids.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, maybe I'm setting you up.
No,
We had a staycation, a couple of Rubes camping, and Adam, I think you had a little bit more of a
Mr. Ray
luxurious
went a
vacation
little more
than the rest
sophisticated.
of us. I want to hear about it.
Yeah.
We went on a cruise for 4 nights, and it was the first time Joey and I have been on a cruise before. The first time us as a family went on it, and went Caribbean, and it went good. Probably my only regret is that I thought it'd be a good idea to order them passports. I mean, I know that sounds crazy.
Right.
They're 12 and 8, so they technically don't need a passport to go to the Caribbean. They needed like a birth certificate, but I'd mailed all the birth certificates off for the passports. Anyway, long story short, the birth certificates arrived like 2 days ago, like well after our trip was over, and didn't need them. But I was like, they weren't cheap either, and they were only good for 5 years. But no, we had a really good time, and
how'd the kids handle?
They liked it a lot. They were a little nervous getting on the ship because it's the size of a freaking city. You know, this is a fairly brand new ship. I think it held over 6,000 people. It was 19 stories high. Had a water park on the top. I mean, it was beautiful, beautiful ship. MSC is the cruise line, and but by day 4 they were about ready to go.
Yeah,
you know, there was no nobody got seasick. I even bought Dramamine prior to it, thinking we might need it, and even at times I kind of felt like, ooh, you feel a little bit, even though the Caribbean is pretty calm.
Where did y'all
by
leave
nature.
out of?
We were left out of Cape Canaveral.
Okay,
Port Canaveral is what
was
they
you
call
going
it.
to Orlando?
Yeah, that was the other thing I would not recommend is that you find Orlando, it's a 45-minute drive, like due east. So not a bad drive, but you still got to get there, you know. So we rent a car one way both times, and that was kind of a pain, but it worked out fine.
And low-key, Orlando Airport is kind of a pain in the butt.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's a tough
Unless
airport.
you're staying in that airport.
Yeah, that's nice.
I mean, staying in the hotel, excuse
man,
me.
Disney World has made that airport just a nightmare.
Yeah, it's wild, especially during spring break. It was definitely busy too, but no, it was fun. We had a good time, and once we got in there and everything, you know, got settled and everything, they loved it and got used to it. Never said a word about feeling the motion of the ship at all, and by the time we were ready to go, it was time to go, and we packed it up. So I'm glad it wasn't a week for sure.
Good easy vacation to gain about 8 pounds on too.
Yeah,
Because
that
everywhere you
is
turn,
too,
you can eat.
Yeah. Oh, we also had a drink package. Highly recommend.
Yeah, that got to go with that.
Yeah.
Now, did your room have like a view, or were you just kind of in?
Oh yeah,
in a bunker type thing?
No, gosh, no.
Yeah.
We had a balcony, and
Nice.
I've been on 3 cruises, and all 3 were balcony, and I would never go anything less. They're not that much more.
I've done it 2 ways. We did Jessica and I did like one of those where we called back before we had kids. We did one of the ones where it was kind of they had last minute deals or something where you could get a room. We went to the Caribbean for it was the Bahamas, and I want to say it was like one of those last minute trip deals on Carnival. It was like $270. It was dirt cheap.
Yeah.
It cost us more to fly to get on the boat, but it was an interior room for our honeymoon.
Yeah.
We did the balcony. spend the extra. If you go on a cruise, spend the extra money to get the balcony because the sun sets if
Yeah.
you're on the right side or the sun rises.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you don't have your kids, you can see both the sunset and sunrise in the same day because it's fun on a cruise. There's always something to do, but it's worth it to get the balcony.
Well, I would definitely agree with the kids too because it's an extension of the room at that point because those rooms are pretty small to begin with.
Yeah.
So to have the balcony and to be able to, I mean, you got. I mean, when I'm saying balcony, I'm talking. There's chairs out there, a table. You could fit 8 people out there if you want to. You can lean over the rail. You can. I mean, it makes the room feel bigger and it's a little bit of an extra.
It's
place
kind
to
of like
go.
being in a condo at the beach. It's just like right there's the ocean. They're fun though. Like I said, about 4. I've done a lot. We did a long one for our honeymoon. It was like 7 days. It was a big circuit around the Caribbean, and it was fun. But after like 4 or 5 days, and you've been eating, and you're doing the same thing over, and it's like 4 or 5 days.
You know, I made the point now, and like, this is the first time we've ever been on an MSC ship. It was the ship was beautiful. I cannot say that enough. I mean, it was pristine. It wasn't. I never felt like I was going to get sick from food or dirty or. It wasn't understaffed. I mean, it was. We never had to wait. And again, there's over 6,000 people on this ship. I never felt crowded. Never felt like I didn't have enough room to move around. I never really felt super welcomed. I was telling Joey, like, I don't need to be fawned over,
right?
But and people were nice. The people were nice, but they just weren't warm. You know, especially like the bartenders and stuff. It was almost like you were a nuisance at some point. And I was like, man, I don't know. I just have this weird feeling on this place. It's
That's
just
no fun.
No, I
They've
mean,
been
it was
trapped at sea for like the last 3
I
years.
hope you took that out of their tip, which is honestly the thing I hate the most about cruises. And trying to figure out how much to tip.
Oh, well, they make it easy. They don't give you an option.
Oh,
you can add to it, but your base. You pay for the tips on the second you walk on the ship. That's all. Boom! It's all factored in.
Oh, okay.
And so everything you do you can put your wallet in the safe and not touch it for the rest of the week. So everything you do is on a card, and whether you have a drink package or an internet package or whatever it is, you can do everything with that little card. You get on and off the ship with the card. That card is your ID, your credit card, phone, everything in one. So yeah, if you were gonna buy some essential stuff, you could do that. But the second you get on, your account gets dinged for your services is what they call it. I mean, it's fine. But what sucks is like 1 or 2 people will go above and beyond, and another person is like kind of a turd.
Tip,
and they get the same thing.
You don't control that. Yeah.
Like I tipped our waitress the couple nights that we had dinner. We had that was another thing. Like the cruises we went on, they always had the formal dinners, and I'm talking about like I remember wearing a tuxedo on these things, or at least a suit at the very least without a tie. I never saw a sport jacket the entire week we were there out of all those people, so it's definitely gone casual which is fine, but I mean, it's definitely gone more casual than it was.
Yeah, I remember the first one we had like a captain's dinner, and it was like you had to be. You wasn't getting in without a sport coat. Like, this kind of sucks on vacation.
Yeah, that was, but it was
pack all that.
No,
but it was part of the whole experience.
Right.
You have your day at sea, and then or at the beach, and then you get all dressed up, and everybody gets like there was one family that sat next to us at dinner one night, and like all the girls had the same dress on. There, you could tell they spent a lot of time getting all dolled up and whatever, but. Yeah, there was just no formalities about that kind of stuff.
Post-COVID, they're like, man, just come on.
Yeah.
Just anything.
Come
you want to
as
wear
you
flip-flops? Come on in.
I would say this one, like, there wasn't a lot of old people. There wasn't a ton of families, although there was a good amount of kids. I would say the 20 to early 30s was, they were out, baby. Yeah. I mean, it was spring break. So much so that my oldest daughter counted butts. And when I say butts, I'm talking about like thong bikinis.
Yeah.
She got up to I think about 15 before we ended the trip.
Did you confirm? Did you confirm the count? Yeah. I
can get her up here if we need to.
Yeah.
I don't have all the pictures, but I did. Yeah. Joey was nice enough to take a picture of me standing next to one. So,
yeah, I've seen that picture. That was pretty good. That's a Christmas card picture.
A lot of rear ends on this trip, I got to tell you. So. But it was fun. I'd recommend it. It wasn't crazy expensive, and it was definitely something different. We'll do it again, but it's not like we're going to be like the cruise family.
Yeah. Well, this travel podcast has been brought to you.
I'll tell you what, man. Yeah. We have covered some ground tonight.
Margaritaville, Stay-cation, and MSC Cruise Line.
Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah.
Girl Scouts of America.
And Randy.
Where is Randy? All right. Thank y'all for listening.